Hi there, welcome into the second edition of our brand new show, In the Club. I'm your host, Stephen Ruffing, and today we have some fantastic guests. We have Underground Cafe and Student Activities Board. Student Activities Board, they'll be up next, but right now I'm with Emma Rawlings and Cheyenne White from Underground Cafe. Really quick, just kind of introduce yourselves.
I'm Emma Rawlings. I'm the president of Underground Cafe. I'm from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm a junior public relations major.
Cheyenne?
I am Cheyenne White. I'm also in Underground Cafe. I am the social media and marketing chair. I'm also a junior. I'm from Littlestown, and I'm a sport management major.
Oh, I didn't realize the importance that was in this room for Underground Cafe. But Emma, just real quick, how did you get involved? You know, being the president now, take me back to the day you got involved into Underground.
The day I got involved was actually at, it was the freshman orientation weekend, and it was the first night. There was, they had a kind of like a fair kind of going on with, they had different novelties outside. I was waiting in line to get a street sign made, and someone that used to be involved in SAB came up to me and he said, he asked me my name, asked me what I like to do, what my hobby is, and I said, at the time I was a speech pathology major, and I loved music, and he's like, oh, well, hang on, I have someone to introduce you to, and he went and he got his friend Taylor Overly, and they came back, and Taylor at the time was president of Underground Cafe. And he's like, hey, we have this cool thing on Thursdays, it's an open mic, even if your major is nothing with music, you could come check it out, and I did, and I've probably missed maybe like 6 Thursdays since then.
Wow, it's
So.
impressive stuff. Shane, can you top that? How'd you
Yes.
how did you get involved with Underground?
Actually, really funny story. Like almost as funny as this story because it's the same. I was standing behind Emma in line because we are roommates and we were together. So that's how that happened, I guess. Same story, same time, same place.
So pretty identical, actually identical stories for them too. You said you were really into music. Have you ever performed in Underground?
I have. My freshman year, I get I get a lot of stage fright, very stage shy. And it was one of my friends at the time, Sarah Barger. She was a junior as a freshman, and she came over to me and she's like, Emma, I'd really love some help with this song, and we'd gotten to talking one night. And I probably was involved with the club for about 3 months before I ever actually performed. And I was shaking the whole time. And there was a big group of people, and it was really cool. It was in the Performance Center here in Italy. And ever since then, I've finally gotten to the point. I think this year was probably the first year, though, that I started performing on my own. So it's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Cheyenne, how musically talented you are. Have you performed
I have
at an
not.
Underground?
It sounded backhanded.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a backhanded question, Steve. But no, I'm actually not musically inclined, and I've never performed, which I think really says something about our club, that it not only,
Right.
it doesn't just attract,
Right.
musically inclined people or people that that play music. It's for everybody.
Right, exactly. I couldn't agree more. And this is a question that I had myself coming into this. With Student Activities Board and Underground, you try to kind of brand yourselves differently. You try to kind of branch off that. Emma, as president, what is your relationship with Student Activities Board?
SAB has been, they're an awesome club, and they were actually combined. Underground
Right.
and SAB, they were called SABUG for a long time. And then 3 years ago, my freshman year was Cheyenne and I's freshman year was the first year that Underground was its own club. And so we have our own budget, we have our own label, if you will, our own identity. And it's really cool, it's fun to have our own thing, but it is nice because SAB's always right there if we need them, and vice versa. We help them with sound sometimes. Something like this coming Thursday, we have an event, and they'll be doing tie-dye pillowcases at it, so yeah.
So cool stuff. I mean, are you involved with both? So you were members of SAB, and that's awesome stuff. I mean, and Underground, from what I'm concerned is, besides music and performances, there are other performances that can go on, right, Cheyenne?
Right. Just last week, we actually had spoken word night. and previously we did spoken word night as like a workshop, so other students could come and like learn if they didn't already know how to write spoken word. But this year it didn't quite work out that way. Also, besides just music, on any sort of open mic night, people can come and they can do, comedy, and they can read their poetry and whatever they want to do. It's open for them.
This week.
Yeah, and this week actually is Get Artistic Night. So we do have a feature performer coming, and then we also have open mic slots for people to perform original music. And we are opening it to a bunch of artists on campus. If they want to come show their portfolios or sculptures or whatever other artwork that they're doing, they're allowed to come do that. It's actually outside the Convocation Center, and we're really excited to have, that broad of a service for our students.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you kind of involve everybody. It doesn't just involve the musically talented, because I know myself, no music talent there. But now Underground, it's when you go there, you see all the students contributing. You see students setting up. How do the students, Emma, get involved and contribute behind the scenes with Underground?
It's actually been pretty fun. I think, Shannon, is what we've seen. We've really gotten to see the club grow. I remember our freshman year, there was probably maybe 8 or 9 of us at meetings, member-wise. There was e-board, and then there was, like I said, 8 or 9 of us maybe. And now we're up to, I think, around consistently we have about 17, 20 members. And it's really neat. Basically, we go, we have, it's all a big Thursday production. We go, and I'll run you through the day real quick. 7 p.m. we have meetings, our member meetings, on the 3rd floor in Itali. And then we go down to wherever we're going to be that night, and we set up. And setups probably are usually around 45 minutes, probably, half hour, 45 minutes. And during that time, members are, and again, commercial music technology majors and other majors alike, like anyone, you can learn this kind of stuff. We learned how to run cables, set up sound, do the sound testing, set up lights, all that kind of stuff, and it's really neat because you get to see just everyone get involved. You see, and then there's some people setting up our sign-up board for people to just write up, and there's a girl that is doing that right now, and she's an art major, and she just takes the whiteboard markers and just makes these beautiful little collage things on the board for people to sign up, and it's something so little, but
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody can contribute. Everyone gets involved, and there's something special about Underground. Just Cheyenne, tell me the opportunities it brings to the students. Not only being on crew, but these performers. A lot of them are Cal U students. I mean, it has to be such a great experience and big opportunities for them.
Yeah. That's a really good question, Steve, actually, because I actually have always said that, my pride in Underground Cafe comes with offering our students sort of a safe zone, a judgment-free zone where they can come and they can express themselves. And I think that's really, such an integral part of what we're doing, because performing's difficult. It's a very difficult thing, and people have Emma, have a difficulty, overcoming, that sort of stage fright. But I think Underground Cafe offers that environment where students feel like they can come and do this type of thing. And they don't feel like they're being judged. They don't feel like they're really being put on the spot. It's a very close community of people. We usually have a lot of the same artists coming out every week. There are some weeks that we have new artists, just the past 2 weeks we had somebody new come in. And he said that he's going to keep coming back because it does feel so safe for them.
Right, and I think that's one of the biggest things is someone that's kind of unsure, has never been to Underground, they want to perform, but they don't realize that the environment is a friendly environment. Everyone is there for the same exact reason. I think that's such a special thing that Underground kind of provides for the students. Now we're going to get into who is Emma. We'll go to both of you. Emma, who's your favorite performer, if you could pick one? If you can, that has been to Underground.
I won't pick yours. I know yours.
Thanks.
You go ahead, because you know yours.
Okay, so my favorite performer that we've brought in so far has been A440. They're actually a cappella group from Canada. And we had them in the convocation center, and they just blew me away. It was a whole a cappella night. We had the other a cappella groups here on campus come and perform, but it was by far one of the most like electric sort of performances that I think we've had.
And Emma, if you could pick.
I really don't know. It's so hard. A440 was really great, and they were actually, I was in charge that night, so I was talking with them the whole time and getting them here, and it's really fun. That's another thing with eBoard. Everyone kind of picks different nights, and we all get to work with featured performers and work with that production company and, bring them, and just the whole process of bring them here. I guess one of my favorites was, we had one of my best friends from home. He's in a band called Cedar Green. His name is Ryan, and Ryan always, so the minute that I got involved in Underground, I was sending him videos of things like of my freshman year, like, Ryan, like, look at this club, it's so cool. And he said, yeah, he's like, wow, like, maybe someday my band could play there. And I said, yeah. And then 3 years later, it worked out, and we got to pay them, and it was official, and it was really cool. And that was back in February. Yeah. So it was, it's a five-hour drive, so, they got to, make a little mini tour out of it, stop some places, and it was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. But before we wrap things up, Emma, as president, can you just tell us how can people get involved with Underground?
Getting involved is so important, and getting involved with Underground is a lot easier than some might think.
Right.
We have Twitter at UGCafe_CalU. Our member meetings are, like I said, at 7 p.m. on Thursdays, and we have a Facebook page. You can message the page. It's easy, and we always are looking for new performers, so please feel free, feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. That's all we have for Underground Cafe. Again, thanks for coming out and spending a couple minutes with me. So up next, stay right there. We have Student Activities Board right after this break.
Todd's a great guy.
No, thank you.
I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Got a quarter?
And welcome back into In the Club. I'm your host, Stephen Ruffing. Before we had Underground Cafe, now we have Student Activities Board. And from SAB, we have John Hershey and Nate Connolly. Guys, thanks for joining me for the second half of this show.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I'm the president.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm the Weekends and Trips chair. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to get you guys out on the show. I mean, you guys do so much for Cal. I mean, it's great to have you on the show, so we'll get right into it. And John, we'll start with you. How did you get involved with SAB? Is there any crazy story that needs to be told?
So Nate and I actually met on the first day of school. I knew his roommate from home, and we got to know each other from that way. But Nate kind of encouraged me to check out this one stand on freshman orientation weekend. And it seemed like a really cool club. They were offering, I think, free tie-dye shirts that day or something like that. And I was like, why not? And we went to the first meeting, and he was very into it. And he definitely showed me the club and encouraged me to keep on coming. So
yeah.
I actually thank Nate for me being in the club. So
That's good. And Nate, you brought John into SAB. How did you yourself get into the club?
I was just a freshman on campus for orientation weekend, and it seemed like they were doing a lot of cool things, like the giveaways, I think he said, the tie-dye, and then there was street signs and stuff like that. I was like, this is really cool, so might as well ask about it. I was that freshman on campus that was like, yeah, I want to do
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
And so I just asked one of the people on eBoard at the time, and they said when their meetings were, so we went and we fell in love with it. So.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things that SAB does at those big org fairs. You guys really outdo yourselves with the thing, trying to attract those very spunky freshmen that want to just get involved with everything. You know, I mean, we were all there, but you know, it's an organization that does do so much for the campus. And how do the students, John? How do the students contribute into the organization of getting all of this ready, setting things up, and really just heading forward with things?
Okay, so we have, you know, our members that actually are very, very helpful. I mean, we can't, as an e-board, do it by ourselves.
Right.
So we encourage everyone to join the club. They get experience meeting other students, learning communication skills, and basically all that entices. But the members help bring in a lot of students as well, because we don't know everybody, and then like our members definitely expand with us. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Not really. He basically covered it all. It's just lots of opportunities for students.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and that's my next question, Nate. I mean, describe some of these opportunities that the students get. I mean, you know, you went to out in Hershey where you had all the
APCA conference.
Exactly. I mean, just that itself gave students the opportunity of communicating, building relationships, kind of networking. How important are those opportunities for these students?
I think it's very important. Going to the APCA conference is probably my favorite part of the organization because of the connections that we make there. I know my first time I was a freshman, so I was like a little nervous
Right.
going, and I got the chance to talk with artists, middle agents, artist managers, and stuff like that. Just making those connections are huge.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and I mean, just look at some of the performance that you've got from those events. So I think that's such a great thing. And you know, SAB, what are some upcoming events that that we'll be seeing from SAB? I know you got some posters here for it.
Today, actually, we have an Easter egg hunt at 12 o'clock, which is in like the next half an hour from now.
Oh.
But then also we brought a sign for paintball. We had paintball, I think, last fall, like not this past one, but the one before. And a lot of the students really enjoyed that event, so we figured we'd bring it back. So that is on, I think, May 2nd. Yeah. And then we also have Campus Feud, which we, at APCA, we saw the showcase for what it was, and it looked like a lot of fun. And I highly encourage all students that like love trivia to come out and see what it's like.
Yeah, and there you have it. I mean, come out. These are free. That's the big thing. You know, that's you got to promote the free. It's free, fun. I mean, a lot of things that go on that SAB provides. And you know, we talked a little about the students contributing into the organization. And you know, when you have these big performances, I mean, we had Dave Coulier, we had Jesse McCartney, all thanks to SAB. What goes on behind the scenes? You know, because everyone's looking at the smiling faces in the crowd and everything, you know, peaches and cream. But you know, it has to be a little hectic, Nate. And behind the scenes, what's going on back there?
It really all just depends on the day of. Usually musicians are a little more hectic than comedians because comedian needs a stool and
Right.
and a microphone.
Yeah.
But it all depends. It just all relies on everyone doing their job. Like people have hospitality, marketing, like doing day of schedules and stuff like that. That's behind the scenes, just relying on everyone doing their job. Do you have anything to add, John?
No, I mean, like, the artist itself, they've always been like very, very nice and kind. Surprisingly, Steve-O was the nicest.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
It was like really crazy to think that he was like so like outgoing and like very, very like kind and nice to everybody.
Right.
And you would think from his personality he might be not, but like he's a very great guy and
Yeah.
he's definitely our nicest.
yeah, there's no doubt about that, and it's always special when you get someone. You know, it makes your job so much easier as the people hosting the events, and you know these big names. You know, you said Steve. We had Dave Coulier. Who's in charge of Nate, setting up these events, getting these big stars? Who takes the credit for that one?
I have to give credit to Missy Dunn there. She handles all the behind the scenes on getting the artists. She's amazing on what she does for us, and then she just lets us kind of do our thing and let us run it.
Yeah.
So definitely props to her.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. She does an amazing job. Just from what I can see, I can't imagine just the things that she does for SAB that I'm not exposed to. But we'll get a little biased here. John, we'll start with you. Who was your favorite guest that or performance event, whatever you want? Who was your favorite that SAB brought to Cal?
I would have to say Jesse McCartney, just because of like what it accomplished for us as a club. I mean, we sold, I think, 1,200 tickets in the first 6 hours, and we had to open up more tickets,
Right.
Which we sold out then, of course. And everyone that went loved the show.
Yep.
So it was fantastic, and it's really about what the students like, not so much like what I like. So like
Right,
it's,
exactly.
Like so, it's more. It's good. It's better for me to think like, oh, students enjoyed the show, so that's where I go.
Yeah,
Yeah, with my
you're
choice,
exactly
yeah.
right. And Nate, we'll go to you. What was your favorite event that SAB had?
I would probably have to say the Dan and Shay concert we had 2 years ago, because that was like one of our first big concerts, and maybe like a stepping stone for what we had to come with, like Steve-O and Jesse McCartney and Dave Coulier and stuff like that. And they weren't as big at the time, and now they have 2 good albums out, and they're pretty big country artists. So we like to think that we helped them on their way. So probably Dan and Shay.
Yeah, and there's nothing better than that. Like you said it there. It's always fun to see, that kind of smaller artist, and then you have them at your school, and then next thing you know, they're these big artists. And John, you kind of touched a little bit on it's not what you want. It's what the students want. It's what the campus wants. What are some things? How do you get the students involved in who they want to perform at Cal? Who do they want? How do you really reach out to them?
So it's more complicated than just asking who do you want, and then we just go and sign those people.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the way it works. So there is a process, but we do try to talk with students with kind of genres, and then go from there. We don't like to repeat genres, so we probably won't have a country concert for the next however many years.
Right.
Jesse McCartney was more of a pop, so I mean we could go back to a pop or type of
Right.
genre, but we definitely want to switch it up. So we're not just trying to choose the same genre over and over again. We do try to stay with the current trends in music.
Right.
interest.
There's no doubt about that. And it is. You said it yourself. It's not an easy process. It's not as simple as who do you want? Okay, good, we got them. There's definitely a lot more to it, and I think that SAB deserves a heck of a lot of credit for what you guys do for the campus, and it's definitely a thankless job. There's no doubt about that. And while we kind of wrap things up, Nate, can you just tell people how can they get involved? You have that freshman coming up to you.
Yeah.
How do you tell them? What's the process of them getting involved with SAB?
Looking outside in on SAB might be a little hectic, a little scary, but it's actually really easy to join. Our meetings are 4 p.m. on Thursdays in the Vulcan Theater every Thursday. You could come up to us at any one of our events and talk to us about joining. We have a Twitter at CalU Activities, Instagram at SAB_CalU. Can contact us there. Anything, just come up and talk to us. We're all friendly. We'd all love you to join.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And, they do. They're looking for people. They want people to join. They don't bite, as you could see here. I was not bitten as we were recording this episode. But, guys, thanks a whole lot for coming out. I do want to thank SAB Underground for everything they do, not only coming on this show. So, again, any last words for?
Just thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, CTV.
Yeah, not a problem. It's great having these clubs on the show. Thank you, the audience, for watching this edition of In the Club. I've been Stephen Ruffing. Thank you to everyone in the crew, and until next time, have a great day.